are presenting Mortgage and Muscles, and I have my girl here, Miss Marcia from Ideal Services. How are you doing today?
Hi, very good, and you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. So today we're going to talk about being a general contractor, doing fix and flips, rehabs, also staying swole in the gym. Go ahead, flex on them if you want. And we're just going to kind of just go over the Jacksonville market as an investor, things you look at, things that are important, and just kind of going over just some few topics here.
Let's do it.
So Marcia, you are a general contractor.
I am.
How long have you been a general contractor for?
I actually have been just for a year and a half now, but I have been in the industry for 7 years.
Okay.
We started as just handymans, and I obtained my license just shy 2 years now.
2 years. Okay, awesome. And I know that you are an investor yourself as well. But let's talk about the general contractor portion. How do you actively go out and look for clients to reach out for fix and flips, or are you doing general contract for residential primarily or commercial?
Mostly for investors. I mean, when I started my company 7 years ago, we did mostly renovation for property managers, for small flippers, or maybe for renters that own and operated their own houses. That's how I learned the business. That's how I learned how a house should look like. That's how I learned how a house shouldn't look like, what things break the most, how to address all of the situations with renters.
Okay.
Then little by little I moved toward bigger projects, and then I started renovating entire properties. Then with the years I realized I knew everything that I needed to know to flip a house, so I started flipping my own houses.
No, that's awesome. So that's the thing here, is that she has an idea on doing the work, but also what things to look into as an investor in today's market in Jacksonville. As a general contractor, what are the steps to obtain your license? Because some people are interested in that.
Well, that is not an easy path. You need to have 4 years, at least 4 years of experience, and you can only prove them either by being through a W-2, like working for somebody that has a license, and you can prove a record of being, foreman and managing projects and things like that. Or, for example, which was my case, when a general contractor qualifies your business, meaning that they put their license on your business, and when you put your taxes, you are, under the name of your company. So when you're going to tell them, hey, I have this much experience, then that counts towards the 4 years. Then it comes certification, it comes test, then at the end you have to stand in front of the board and present all of your stuff, and then they will either give it to you or not.
Very interesting. Very good insight for free you're getting here right now from Ms. Marcia. So as an investor, how many fix and flips have you done, let's say, in the last 3 years?
In the last 3 years, like for myself or for my clients and everyone?
Well, however you want to go about it.
Big
numbers.
Probably 2021 and 22 were our biggest year, and I believe I did probably 100 houses in 2021 and 100 and something on 2022. Then the market completely changed on 2023. Everything slowed down. That's when I started buying for myself. I started buying at the end of 2022. So I actually sold my first house at the beginning of 2023.
2023,
so for myself, for my own houses, I have done, I believe, a total of 16 houses, if I'm counting property, between the ones that I have flipped and a few ones that I am keeping.
Yeah, keeping, I know that. So as an investor now, of course, the bones of a home and things like that. When you're walking into a home, what things are like, these are the 5 most important, and these are things that I want to make sure I don't lose on the job because of this specific portion of the house or room or so on and so forth.
We mean like what will be a no-no in a house?
What's very, these are things I need to be aware of or cognizant of while purchasing.
That will be roofing, plumbing, electrical, foundations.
Foundation, okay.
So you can know if a roof is good or not just by going to the website and pulling the permits. You don't need nothing more than that. But when you're buying a house, older house, then you don't really know. Many people replace the pipe from galvanized to CPVC without pulling permit, which is, it shouldn't, but it happens a lot. So you really have to inspect the house. Those three items, 4 items are the most expensive in a house: electrical, roofing, plumbing, and foundations, because are the ones that cost you the more.
Gotcha.
Then whatever is just there are, for me, or in my book, there are 2 terms about being just cosmetic. There is, for me, an intense cosmetic when it means I am redoing the kitchen, I am redoing the bathrooms, and there is just the light cosmetic, which means I am just painting, cleaning, replacing maybe a couple of doors, all of the hinges, maybe the knobs, maybe the countertops, just making it shine to put it on the market.
Gotcha.
So I still think that we might be able to call both of them cosmetic. It's just that when it means that we are opening the walls of a bathroom and tearing down the kitchen, becomes one more step. It is not as simple.
Gotcha. Because you change the floor plan a little bit. Things like that.
But we don't even have to be changing the floor plan, but now we're talking about actual plumbing. We are tearing down the bathrooms. We are replacing valves. We are doing, it's a little bit more complicated and time consuming.
Okay. So since we're in Florida, I would think another thing, those are the big 5. So like HVAC, water heater, like those big things.
You want to
well.
replace HVAC most of the time.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Unless you are buying a house that has an HVAC that's just maybe just 3-4 years old, you mostly want to replace it. And I see it from the point of view of the buyer. HVAC in Florida is a big deal.
Yes, for sure.
So buying a house that I have a 10 years old HVAC, maybe if you certify, if you do, all of the cleaning, pay somebody to come and tell you everything is running fine, check on the Freon and stuff like that. But as a buyer, I am going to consider another house maybe as good as mine that has a new HVAC.
Gotcha.
Because we're in Florida. It's not even that like we have a winter. We don't even have a winter.
We don't. So that's a good thing to consider. So you kind of want to assume that you're going to replace the HVAC. Those run about what, 7-10K?
It should be around 5 for smaller units.
Okay.
I will say that maybe 55 and above. Like 550, 500 and above.
And above. Okay. So that makes sense. So like when we're looking at numbers, so this is a numbers game in flips, right? So are you looking at a certain price point you want to get in at and assuming the ARVs at a certain amount? Like what numbers are you playing with to kind of assess a deal initially based upon how much?
Well, I'm trying to, when I evaluate a deal, I am normally trying to subtract at least $10,000 for the value that I see on the website, the comps that come to me.
Okay.
I believe, and I might be wrong, many people disagree with my idea. I believe that many people want to pay less than what they are seeing the house listed for.
Okay.
So for me to be competitive and for my house not to sit in the market for 4, 5, 6, 7 months, I prefer to put it under what the market value is telling me and draw more people in. Since I know and I value my work, I know how good my work is. I know that when the people start coming into my house and compare my work with the work of other contractors, they are going to like my house better. I just have to figure out a way to bring them in. If I place my ARV higher than anyone else, then I'm going to be the house that nobody is visiting.
That makes sense. Because I think the average market right now for a home is about 45, 60 days right now, I think. Yeah, so that is definitely something you want to keep in mind because you still have to pay that interest-only payment.
Yes. And our money is expensive.
Hard money is expensive. Yeah, hard money, private lending, hard money lenders. What would you say is the area that you're kind of reviewing and kind of skimming through for potential properties right now?
So I am on the market for both flipping and holding. So I will flip anywhere. I don't care. I don't care what zip code.
Okay.
As long as the numbers make sense. Of course, there are some areas where you want to be more careful. Okay. You want to maybe put cameras. Maybe you want to. Some people buy a car for $500 and park the car on the houses. There are certain tricks here and there that you can do just to keep your house safe. Okay. But as long as the numbers work, I will buy a house anywhere in Jacksonville. And then for me to hold, I am trying to. Well, it's still not a small area. I like anywhere in Orange Park. I really like Orange Park.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, I think it's a very good area. I say it has a lot of traffic, but it has everything close to it. I don't know actually the name of the area, but I would say the zip code is 32210. It's an area that it's getting better. People are moving in.
Okay.
Now, for me, my favorite area will, of course, be from the river to this side.
Riverside,
But
yeah,
those houses are more expensive.
Yeah, more expensive. Well, yeah. So is there a thing like based upon the age of the home? I met an electrician recently, and he told me like you should go in and first thing you should look at is certain type of boxes that no matter what you're gonna exchange that electrical box or switch that out. Is that a thing as well that you've encountered recently?
We mean like the breaker box?
Like the breaker box, yeah.
Yes, actually, older houses, most of them have the breaker box, but the actual box is not as expensive as having to replace the entire wiring in the house.
Okay.
That's when it gets really expensive. Replacing just the box, it might cost you $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 if you know
So
have
it's like kind of like
more
standard.
expensive.
How much? Okay.
Yeah, maybe if you're paying
$3,000.
for a more expensive contractor, it will be $3,000. But if it has the wrong box, most likely it have cloth wiring.
Okay, I've heard of
And
this.
that is when it gets really expensive.
Okay.
So that's when you're entering a good house, the numbers work, the house is in good shape, and you see an old breaker box, you say, okay, mentally I'm prepared that I have to replace the wiring.
Okay.
And with that comes a lot of wall repairs, and old houses also don't have the kind of sheetrock that we see right now that is just sheetrock and plaster.
Okay,
the plaster used to be concrete,
yeah,
and it's 2 and 3 inches of concrete.
Yeah,
Believe
so
me that repairing that is fun.
More labor,
Yes.
more labor. How many individuals do you have working under you as a general contractor right now?
Well, right now I only have 11,
11.
People under me, but I also I have my own electrician that has a certified electrician. I have, because I hold a plumbing license, but I am not a big fan of plumbing. I have my own team that does the big job from plumbing.
Okay.
What I do under my license are the smaller things. We replace the faucet, we do a shower, we move a sink, we move a shower, we put a new toilet, for example.
Okay.
But when it comes to replumbing or repiping an entire house, I prefer to use the team that only dedicates their time to that.
Gotcha. Okay.
I also have a license for roofing, which is I really like roofing. It's something that I really want to. I haven't until now used it. I am starting to use it now, and I really like roofing.
What would you say is like the sorry to interrupt you in a sense, but roofing, like I know like a roof will like cost like $24,000 for a 1,700 square feet house. How much of that is profit? How much of that is material and labor?
Well, that's a tricky question because it's depending how you manage it. You can, for now, I have 2 group of people that work with me, but they are not on my payroll. Okay. So it's really tricky to tell you, I get 20% or 30% of revenue for this, when the guys that are working for me are not on the payroll.
Gotcha.
They are basically subcontractors.
Okay. So that's one thing. I know a few individuals that have roofing companies, but she's a Swiss Army knife, so she is a really good asset to refer to reach out to if you're looking to do fix and flips. This is the portion of the show we like to talk about the gains you want to keep. So we're talking about the muscles, right? So as a young lady yourself, I know you went to the gym today.
Thank you for the young card. Thank you for the young. I take it. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What type of things do you do to kind of, stay in shape, feel good, do good?
Well, I have been working on for a long time. I think my entire life I have loved the gym. I am not too much of a sporty people. I don't like sports.
Okay.
I remember actually.
You don't like football?
You mean soccer?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. I just don't like playing it. I don't like playing sports.
Okay.
I'm not competitive enough. People will say like, really?
I know.
I am not
you can feel the competitive juices flowing.
I am not competitive.
Okay.
I remember actually in one occasion that because I did every kind of sport when I was a kid. My mother and my father are both athletes. high-end athletes that even compete nationals and international things like that. And I never liked it. I remember specifically one time I was on a swimming contest, and I lost on purpose to allow my best friend to win because I had already won 3 times and she had not.
So you're just a natural good athlete, so therefore you don't have to be competitive.
I don't have.
No, I really. Story's going.
When I was 9 years old, I don't think I was analyzing it like that. I was just like, I wanted her to have the experience, and I wanted her to be happy for having this. And I used to stop in the middle of the pool, like, I don't know anymore. My father and my mother were losing it.
That's awesome. So would you say your machines, your free weights, your cardio,
yes.
a little bit of everything?
I love weights more than anything. Of course, I do cardio when it's needed or when it's demanded. But I have been working for a long time, so it's probably 14 years straight. And before that, I remember even being 10 years old and asking my mother to sign me up for a gym because I wanted to lift weights and things like that.
Yeah.
So I remember my entire life and I never like aerobics and things. I wanted to lift.
You wanted to lift.
I wanted the weight.
I have a 12-year-old daughter, and she really was in the gym randomly at 2:30 working out today, which is funny. So I do support that. That is definitely keep your body strong and feel good, do good. Yeah. So one thing I wanted to talk about is that you are a young lady that is a general contractor, and how often do you see that? So if you don't mind.
Not too much. We're not too many. I do know of 2 ladies that I mean to I have the contact. I just have to follow up on that contact. There is one specific lady that I would like to meet here in the city that's a general contractor. And I know there is a few of us because I have mentioned in the building department before, like, we need more girls in this. We're good at what we do. We have an eye for this. Maybe the lifting part of the heavy is not what we do the most, but we have the details on the things.
That's the thing.
And I think it's growing. I think the construction industry is calling more and more girls, and I have been seeing it more in the last few years.
No, my mom owns a general contracting painting company back home, but I've been to a few of her homes, and she is very intricate. Lines are like this. The lighting fixture she uses is very specific. She has an eye for this. For sure.
I think that the trick is to use some higher end pieces mixed with some other not so expensive.
Got you.
And the colors of the house are important. The flooring of the house. Go one step ahead of the game. Yeah. Don't use what everyone else is using.
Try have not it flow a little bit.
Yes, try not to make it look as if your house is just another flip in the market.
Have a little
just
emotion
one more.
Okay.
So I used flooring that mostly anybody was using 2-3 years ago. Now more people are using it. I do a lot of lighter colors. I paint the doors on darker colors. I use a lot of grays on the doors. I have even used...
That's a fashionable thing right now, the gray and black doors.
Yes, and I have even used black in a couple. So I have been taking this kind of little risk, and it just puts you out of the bunch. It looks a little bit different. You click on the houses, and 9 out of 10 just look the same flooring, the same color. And I can even tell you what the name of the colors are. It is either agreeable gray or whiskers. Every single house is agreeable gray or whiskers. I will never use those colors on any of the flips. To flip. I might use those colors to houses that I'm going to put for rent because are colors that are darker and take more,
beating.
Yes.
Yep.
But to flip a house, no.
Got you.
By the way, one of the houses that we would just finish, it's an historical house, but it's not in the historical district. It's from 1909. And HGTV? Is it the name?
Yeah.
They call us and they are doing an episode of Home Finders or something like that.
All right.
They actually already recorded the episode last Thursday.
Awesome.
Yeah, we were so excited.
Awesome.
I almost camped outside to see them doing it.
it.
No, they were not talking to the contractors. They were just talking about the house.
The house itself.
So
okay.
I was so excited to see if they were talking about the process, but it's more just about the house.
But your name is stamped on that home, though, right?
Oh, well, yes.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Miss Marcia with Ideal Services, pleasure for having her on. She is a great contact, especially in the investor market, or if you just need some general things, updated or fixing your personal or investment home. Our contact, specifically Marcia's and mine, will be on the bottom of this video. If you need any information, want to contact us, don't hesitate. Just reach out, and pleasure for coming. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
And we'll see you in the next episode.